Hi, Sam here from Future Riders. Today I've got the Amped A20 Pro here with me on the bench. I'm going to run through a couple of things. One, how to maintain the headset, and two, how to change the headset bearings if you should ever need to. Now, when it comes to maintaining the headset bearings, I would check them at least once a week. Obviously, the harder you're riding it, the more you're going to have to check them. But as you can see on this bike here, the headset is loose. So we'll get the bike down and we'll go through some quick ideas of what we're going to do. So firstly, we're going to look at maintaining the headset bearings. We know on this bike, the headset is loose. Obviously, it'll turn left and right, no problems. Forward and back, there's a lot of movement there. If we were to keep riding this bike as it is right now, you're obviously going to cause damage to the bearings, and there's also potential for causing damage to the frame as well. So all we're going to need is a 5mm and a 6mm Allen key, and we're going to tighten this up and obviously stop that play. So firstly, we're going to grab our 5mm Allen key. We're just going to undo a stem cap. Don't need to completely undo it, just loosen it off a little bit. And then you're going to grab your 6mm. You're going to crack the stem bolts off, both sides. Yep, we're going the right way. And then, once you've done that, you're going to grab your 5mm Allen key again. And you're just going to start tightening that up. You don't want to go crazy, but if you just tighten it up enough so that when we test, there's no movement in the headset. Once you've got no movement in your headset, you come back with your 6mm and you're just going to nip those stem bolts back up. What you might find as well, that while you're doing this, you might knock the steering off, so it's not straight, so you just want to check that that's straight also. Okay, so the headset bearings are now tight. Now, if we do this, once every couple of rides, once a week, or whatever it may be, it's not going to be as severe as that, and obviously you're going to stop any damage from the bike. Now, when it comes to, if you're having any problems with turning it left or right, or it's catching, there's a chance that you've caught or damaged the headset bearings. So what we'll do now, we'll move over, we'll put the bike on the bench, and we'll show you how to replace the headset bearings. So a good thing to note is, headset bearings are not a warranty item. It's your responsibility to maintain them. But if, for whatever reason, you did need to change the part, you can head over to our website where you'll find a full list of parts for any Amped bike in the range. But for this particular one, you're going to need to search integrated headset for the Amped A20 Pro. In the set, you're going to get all the parts you're going to need to do a complete change. But in this case, all we need is the headset bearings. So to replace the headset bearings, the first thing we need to do is remove the brake. We're going to remove the brake. You're going to need a 3mm Allen key. You're just going to remove that brake hose. You can unclip it all the way if you need to. It's probably a little bit quicker. Pull that off, put that to one side. Then you're going to need a 5mm Allen key. You're going to remove the front caliper. You're going to have to totally remove this. Okay, so we've removed the front brake. Next thing, you're going to grab a 6mm Allen key. You're going to remove both of the 6mm bolts on the side of the headset. Okay, once they're cracked off and loose, so then you're going to grab your 5mm and you're just going to start undoing that, and you'll notice that the forks will slightly drop. If you've got your front wheel on the floor, which is probably ideal, if you can do it that way, make it a little bit easier, because what you'll find, if it's off the floor, everything will drop and your handlebars will drop everywhere, and oh my God, it'd be right stressful. So we've undone that. Stem caps off. Handlebars, we're just going to drop those to the side. Move that out of the way. And what we can slowly do, now if you just take everything off in the same order that it's come off, when it goes back on, it's going to be a little bit easier. You know where everything is. Okay. So drop that down, lift the forks up. Okay, so the front forks are off, and you can see your lower bearing. Just note which side, the flat side, is always going to go down. So we'll pull that off, drop that down. So we've removed the lower bearing, we're going to go to the top bearing now. So one, your cap, and then your next layer, and then we're just going to pull the bearing out. Again, noticing which way the bearing sits inside its seat. I'm going to come in, we're just going to give it a clean. So once you've cleaned them out, if you've got any white grease or any kind of grease that's going to keep these lasting longer, just slap a bit in. Done. I'll do the bottom after. And then we're going to put our new bearings in. Slap them in. Now the bearings already come greased, so that's why I've just put mine in. But if they are dry, just put, before you put them in, just put a little bit of grease on them. Okay, so we know that. Then we've got the top, the seat, and you've got like the little rubber spacer, just keeps everything housed in there. Okay, perfect. So now what we're going to do, we're going to change the bearing on the forks and then put everything back together. So I've greased the frame. I'm just going to grease around the forks. And I'm going to drop the bearings back on. Just being mindful from which way that you got them before. So obviously we know that that's going to sit in the frame, so that needs to go that way down. And then we'll put the forks back in the frame. So what I find is easier when I'm putting the forks back on, I just like to make sure all the cables in the right positions, make sure everything's going where it should be, and then I just drag it back and just rest it on the frame. Just makes it that little bit easier getting them in, and then you can have your left hand over here. It's easy with two people, but it can be done. So I'm just going to guide that back up. It's a good idea. Put your hands on here. Just keep everything in place. Slide that through. There we go. See, that rubber has moved. I'm going to push that up. We're going to put the spacers on. So you've got your first spacer. It's going to face up. Your next spacer is going to face down. And then you'll see two O-rings. Pop them in. Perfect. Now, all we've got to do, let's get our handlebars on. Next, we're going to put the stem cap on. So we're just going to put that in place there. Once that's on, everything will hold in place a lot better. You won't have to worry too much about holding everything in with your feet and your hands, and nip that up. And now from here, it's basically the same as the beginning part of the video with maintaining your headset bearings. So I'm just going to make sure everything's lined up. There we go. And just keep screwing that up until everything's in place. Now, once you get to a place where everything's tight, you notice everything's tight now because the handlebar's moved as well. What we're going to do is we're just going to line everything up, make sure the wheel is straight, make sure the headset bearings are tight, there's no movement or anything like that. So you're happy the handlebars are straight, you're happy there's no movement in the headset bearings, you just got to do headset bolts up. Now if you go too tight with the headset cap, what you'll find when you try and move the handles left or right, you might find they're a bit stiff, so you just need to crack them off just enough so that there's no play in the headset. Okay, so that's all done. I'm happy. All we need to do now is put the front caliper back on and we're good to go riding. Okay, so putting the front caliper back on, I'm going to slide it into place. You get your 5mm bolt. Just nip that up a little bit. Same at the bottom. Right, I'm going to show you a little tip for how to keep in the caliper straight. Because if you just nip them up now, the caliper's not going to be aligned and you'll end up finding it's going to rub. So we're just going to nip those up just enough so that the caliper will move. So, no, too tight. So back it off a little bit. Okay, so the caliper now moves. You're going to pull the front brake. While you're pulling the front brake, hold it on and now nip those up. And what you'll see in a second, caliper moves and it doesn't rub. Perfect. So you're happy the front brake caliper's lined. Last thing to do, just put the brake hose clip in place. And there you go. Done. Okay, so that's that job complete. Headset bearings are in, everything's tight, handlebars are straight, brake calipers aligned, we're ready to ride. If you're unsure of anything or you've got any questions, you can head over to our Contact Us page on our website where you'll find our office number. You'll also find a WhatsApp number under there as well, where you can send any videos or any questions that you've got that you're unsure of. Cheers, guys, and thanks for watching.